The state of Washington could take away the farm of an 85-year-old farmer near Spokane because he was doing something that many would say is good for the environment. And it's time now for the state to be honest. Why are they doing this? I'm Dylan Honcoop with Save Family Farming. So the bottom line is Bob Greif has been farming on this property for many, many decades, since the 50s, and his dad for many years before that. This is near Deer Park, north of Spokane. And he has a water right for one piece of his property. The other piece of his property didn't have a water right. So he wanted to use the same amount of water that he's always used on his one piece of property that did have a water right and spread it out, share it between the two properties. It's a paperwork issue. It's a water technicality. And he was jumping through all of the hoops the state needed to do that. Yet the state refused to approve this minor administrative change that, again, many would argue is good for the environment, watering more ground, growing more food with the same amount of water that he already had rights to. But the state, again, dug in its heels and said he hasn't done enough. Now, someone is not telling the truth here. Bob Greif and his consultant, Tim Ryerson, who worked for the Washington State Department of Ecology himself in years past, have done everything that they could to try to provide the information that the state asked for, everything that was wanted. Yet the state said, nope, not good enough, and continues to say that, saying they haven't provided enough information. The state is claiming that they want to work collaboratively with these men. Yet the men say they've done everything that's been asked of them and still have only gotten no as an answer. Again, someone isn't telling the truth. But it turns out Bob Greif and his consultant Tim Ryerson, who has a huge amount of experience and used to work for Ecology, have been incredibly transparent. In fact, they made a website to share all of their paperwork, all of their documentation, so the public could see the truth about what they were trying to do. Yet the Department of Ecology has just responded with platitudes, claiming that they're all about collaborating, but never saying specifically what hoop it was that they wanted Bob Greif to jump through. And now they've begun to fine him, saying he's not in compliance. Why? Because they didn't offer him a pathway to do what he needed to do to be able to have his farm survive. This is unconscionable, and it's time for the Department of Ecology to explain why they're doing this, what's really going on behind the scenes, doing something that they've okayed for many other people all over the state. Why will they not help this farmer make things work? And instead, they're fining him to the point where his farm may be taken away. It's time for this to change. It's time for some honesty from the State Department of Ecology. And that's the Save Family Farming Hot Take of the Week.